Welcome to the David McCullough Readalong. If you're not already reading, why not? We are in the Johnstown Flood book. This is the first book published, and as you can tell, I've already started it. I was a little late. I didn't start on the first. I love David McCullough's writing, so let me get into this first. I have notes. The way that this book is written is not your standard chapters. It's written in 9 parts, and each part has about 2 to 3 chapters on average. I think the final one is just its own chapter. The way that, let me back up. The intro that David McCullough added to this, I don't think it's in the original. He writes how he became interested in the flood. He writes how he became interested in writing nonfiction. He admitted that he was originally kind of toying with the idea of writing plays and maybe a novel or a couple of novels. But he had a conversation with somebody and asked, why do you do this? About like how do you decide which topic to do? And that person explained, if I can't find information that I'm looking for on it, I do it. I research it and then I do it. And I think that's what got McCullough started. And I'm so glad. I'm not going to explain how he found out about it or what created the interest. But he writes, it stopped him in his tracks. And this is the result of it. This is published by Simon & Schuster. It was published in 1968. It has never gone out of print, which is amazing to me. And they have published all of his books, which is also amazing. It's fantastic. David McCullough was born and raised in Pittsburgh, which isn't too far from Johnstown. Now, I wanted to look it up, so I looked it up on a map, and based on the highway, it's just over 66 miles. But by way of the crow, it would be a lot quicker. And so he was familiar with it, but wasn't aware. So growing up, there was something that he and his brother did. It's kind of macabre to think, but if you don't know, you don't know. In him sharing that little bit of childhood memory is kind of how this entire book is. You're sitting on the front porch or in the living room with Grandpa or at the kitchen table, and Grandpa's spinning his yarn. He's giving you the details, laying out the lay of the land, telling you about the people that were in the town, and that sets the foundation, right? You care about the town. You care about the people. And it's almost like listening to that, the idealism, that it's an idyllic town and things were so good back then and it's almost bucolic. But there's an undertone. You've got that underlying information of neglect. And so it's memorable of a catastrophic event. Reading, so I'm trying to think of how many books I've actually read by David McCullough. The information that he gives is thorough, but it isn't dry. It's very easy to read, and this one's short. This one's probably his shortest one, but it isn't. If you have any interest whatsoever, I highly recommend picking it up because, like I said, it's super easy to read. It's very, I don't want to say entertaining, that's not the right word, but the way that McCullough writes is just like Grandpa telling you a story. And if you haven't read it and you have any desire whatsoever in joining in on the McCullough Readalong, we're only on, day 6? Come on, join in. It's not too late. So I have just gotten to the part where the bridge, where the dam has busted. And the way that it's described is not like it actually crumbled, but because there was so much force behind the water. It was almost as if it was, have you ever seen the laser cutting with water? It was described similar to that without that verbiage. It just sliced through. I want to read this book. I thought, oh, it's only 298 pages or what have you, or 289 pages. I can read this. Hang on a minute, let me check. 260. It's only 268 pages. I thought, oh, I could read this in a day. No problem, no biggie. But no, because of the topic, it's deserving to take your time with it, to really be in the predicament with the people living it. And then can you imagine, you're in a town that experiences flooding anyway, and you have a torrential downpour overnight, and then it kind of lets up, but then it starts again, and you're afraid to leave because you know when you come back the town folks are going to ridicule you. Thankfully, some people did leave. They were the smart ones. Then there were other people that were, oh, it's just another flood. It's not as bad as that other year, right? But can you imagine hearing the water rushing towards town? I can't even fathom. That must have been so frightening. Anyways, that's where I'm at right now. I hope you decide to pick it up, join in on the read along, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.